Okay, here we go. Now you guys can ask any questions you want. You can come on screen and ask questions. Put it in the chat. I will have that up the whole time as well. I do have some polls that come out throughout, so make sure you answer those. They are completely private, just so you all know. It will tell us the percentages and stuff, but there is no way for me or anyone else to see who answered what. So you don't have to feel like we're targeting you or you're like sharing secrets or saying things you don't want to say. I can't see that. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. It's just so I kind of have a general idea of who's in here, keeps us a little engaged, keeps things a little bit fun. So, what we're talking about today is reducing your overwhelm so that you can make more money. A lot of people don't know this, but your overwhelm, like feeling overwhelmed, is worse than feeling stressed. So, there's stress, there's anxiety, and then there's overwhelm. So when you get to the point that you're so overwhelmed, you can't breathe, you feel like you are drowning and your business is engulfing you, that is the worst amount of stress you can have. That's bad. That's really messing with your mental health. It is messing with your business. It's messing with everything. You are less productive. You are less creative. Less creative is a big deal because there's problems that come up in business. We have to do our marketing. There's a million other things going on in business. And if we don't even know how to dig into the creativity part of us, we can't come up with solutions for those problems. We kind of do the whole blank stare thing and you're like, I don't know. I have nothing. I have nothing. I don't want you guys to be in that space. Overwhelm reduces productivity. We already talked about that. It often makes people feel paralyzed or frozen. For me, I just start scrolling endlessly because I don't know what to do with all of my overwhelm. It makes you feel hopeless. You do a lot of avoidance, a lot of procrastination. It's extremely exhausting. So, what we want to do today is we are going to talk about some steps to take you from I am so overwhelmed. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I want to get here and I don't know how to get here. We want to take you from that to I know what my next step is. And we're taking little teeny tiny baby steps to move you forward in your business and make sure you have everything that you need to succeed and we don't get stuck in this overwhelmed state. Again, overwhelm is worse than stress. It's worse than anxiety. It is like the top of craziness. The tab for this session when I'm on screen, it crashes. Nicole, sometimes you have to get completely out and get back in. If you can't, and it's just like if you can still hear us, even when you're not on screen, just don't go on screen right now. I'm not going to have, you can put everything in the chat and I'll talk to you that way too. So it's not like a big deal. All right. Not having a plan in your business. Is it me? Guys, do I need to refresh? No? Okay. I'm okay. It's just like a weird system problem. Okay. Not having a plan in your business is part of what keeps you stuck and part of what gives you that extreme feeling of overwhelm. Because when we say something like, I want to write a book, I am currently writing a book, so I'm going to use this example throughout. I want to write a book, and that's your big dream, and that's what you want to do. And you sit down to write a book, and you're like, I got nothing. I got nothing. It increases that stress and overwhelm, and you're getting more and more anxious about it, and it's causing more and more problems because I don't have a plan. And that's how I started writing my book. I was 100% sure, like, all of these amazing authors just sat down and, like, a book just came out of their fingers, like freaking magic. That's not how it works. That's how you write a book. I had no idea. You have to have a plan in your business. You have to have a step-by-step plan that tells you what to do, or we all end up sitting at a computer being like, I don't really know, so I'm just going to do stuff. It's not the right stuff. It's not moving me towards my goal, but I'm just going to put crap on a page and hope that it's right instead of having a plan that actually takes me to my end goal. Your business cannot be built overnight. Businesses are not built overnight. And it's frustrating because I want my business to be like 25 steps further than it is right now, but like yesterday. I want to be way far along in my business and I'm just not. So false. I've written a chapter in a book and that, yep, so false. Businesses are not built overnight. They are built piece by piece by piece by piece. So you want to make sure that you're not allowing your impatience to add to your overwhelm. It's okay if you're at the beginning. Wherever you are at in your business, it is okay to be there. It's okay to be there. It is a process and we get to ride the waves and sometimes the process is rough and sometimes it's amazing. but being impatient isn't getting us closer. It's just increasing that overwhelm, which is reducing our productivity and causing us so much stress and anxiety and not getting us anywhere closer. Try Otter. I think Jennifer uses Otter. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do to start with, and I don't want you guys to write any of this down right now. You don't have to worry about that. There is if you go to the booth and then you go to home, there is a workbook. We are going to talk about the workbook a little further on. If you want to be completely ready for that, go download it right now so you can start using that as we go. Right now, I'm just kind of giving you the steps and then we'll go from there. So go get the workbook so you're ready. What we're going to start with first is I want you guys to tell me what your dream is. Like your big, kind of makes me need to cry, scares me a lot dream. What is your big, huge dream? Put it in the chat. You guys on screen can come in and just tell us if you want. I'll wait. I'm good. What's your massive dream, guys? Does no one want to share? Is it too scary to share your dream? Are you nervous? It's hard to say out loud? I think some of you are typing. I see some heads. Okay, cool. I'll give you some of mine while we wait. I don't mind sharing my dreams that are big and huge and scary. I need a fully automated business that is making $1 million a year. $1 million a year, fully automated. I do very little, 4 hours a week. I want to own my own land to be the community and live off the land and be the crazy lady that dances naked under the moon in my garden. I love that so much. I love how specific it is. Way to be. Okay, anyone else? Sometimes our dreams are bigger than we even want to put words to. I don't know if that's true for all of you guys. Sometimes it feels very scary to even admit it to people because you're afraid they're going to laugh. You're afraid you can't make it. You're nervous about what people are going to say, how they're going to handle that. This space, my dream that scares me is that I will have nothing to do after you reach it. Whatever, you'll find plenty to do. This space right here, us talking, is like a totally safe space. If you guys get in there and you're like, I want to make $10 million, I'm going to be like, hallelujah, let's do it. That's fantastic. That's amazing. It's okay to have big, crazy dreams. What we want to start with is we want to start with your big, crazy dream. That's what you're going to write down first. We're going to talk about what the big dream is. And then we're going to start breaking it down. This is similar to what we did last week. It's a little bit different. Become a millionaire. Awesome. Do it. Okay. We're going to start 10 million in a year. This year, like next year, I'm okay with that if it is. I'm just hitting my timeline. Next year. Awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're talking about our big dream. We know exactly what it is, what it looks like, how it makes us feel, all of those things. And then we're going to start breaking down the macros inside of that. Because a lot of times, we have things like, I'm just going to write a book. I'm just going to write a book. That's my big dream. I'm going to get there. I'm going to write a book. And then we sit down and we're like, I don't really know how. I don't really know how to step that out. I don't really know what that looks like. I don't know what the process looks like. I don't know how that feels. I don't know what the next steps are. So what we want to do first is you're going to start breaking down your macros. Your macros are big tasks or projects. They typically take more than 5 hours. They have several steps throughout them. So for writing a book, I'm going to be like, which I had to hire a coach to teach me all of this. Don't worry. One of my first ones was I need an outline. And if you look, like that's the outline of my book on my board. I don't know if you guys can see it. Every chapter is up there. I didn't know I needed a good outline like that. So I have an outline, and then another macro is that I need to outline every single chapter. And then another macro is I need to write chapter 1. I need to write chapter 2, whatever that looks like. I need to do the research, like all of those types of things. So you're stepping every single step out. So you say, okay, the big, huge steps inside of this goal to reach $1 million, to reach $10 million, what are they? What are they? What does that look like? What are the big, huge steps? Where do you need to go? What do you need to be doing in order to break down that huge goal? Because again, it's a great goal, but if we don't know what the steps are, we don't know how to get there. Okay, next, we're going to talk about micros, and we're going to go through this. I'm going to have you guys write this all out in just a minute. The next thing we're going to talk about is the micros. So I say I have to outline my entire book. That's my macro. I have to outline my book. The micro is a teeny, tiny, tiny step. So it's going to be like, just write the chapter headings. Takes less than an hour, single task, easy for anyone to understand. Another micro might be to just write the outline for chapter 1, write the outline for chapter 2. If I'm building a big, huge website, I can be like, okay, all I need to do today is gather the images for my website. I need 50 images or 20 images. I'm just going to gather the images. And then the next thing can be, you know what, let's actually do this. Let's do this together. This is kind of what it looks like in your workbook when you download that. It doesn't say micro everywhere because that'd be irritating. But this is what we're going to do. I want you guys to tell me. So the big macro is I am going to create a website. That's a macro goal. That's huge. Takes a ton of time. It's totally taking more than 5 hours to create a website. Big thing. So tell me all of the little steps inside of building a website. Less than an hour, easy to understand. Give me the stuff.
Your about page.
About page. About page isn't going to take you more than an hour to create the whole about page.
Not me, but that's probably not a micro for most people now that I think about it.
Okay, so maybe we want the copy draft for an about page, yeah?
Yeah.
What else goes into an about page that takes less than an hour? Get a domain. Good job. Okay, get a domain. Have an idea. Know what your business is. Yes. Now, branding is bigger than an hour. So we're going to say something like write your brand story. Get an LLC. Takes less than an hour. Absolutely. Super easy. So brand story can go in here as well. LLC. We're going to do a copy, the draft copy, just like the copy draft for our about page, just the basics of it. So it's going to be like Kara knows some stuff and it's going to be weird. Set up how many pages you want. Yes, so an outline. I need an outline of my site. I need these 5 pages or these 10 pages or whatever that looks like. Totally takes 15 minutes just to draft that out. Definitely. Write out your services. Perfect. Services. What else? I'm going to get images together. Get a link to my calendar. Yes, get a calendar link. What else? Keep going, guys. There should be a ton of these. Freemium link. Absolutely. We're going to get some more graphic, legal stuff linked. Yes. So like if you need on your website, it has the privacy stuff. It has the agreement stuff. All of those things need to be done. A payment link. Ooh, so a payment link might take some people longer. So you might be like, oh, I need a Stripe account. And then I'm going to link that to my website. This whole thing is just brain dumping everything. Course cost, absolutely. And you're just going to brain dump everything because the overwhelm doesn't mean we're not thinking. It means there's so much in our brains, we don't know how to function anymore. We are just drowning. So take all of that anxious energy and stress, and you're going to put every single thought that comes into your brain down on paper. Be like, okay, everything I need for a website, here it is. Let's do this. And you're going to write it down, and it's going to look like chaos, and it's going to look weird and crazy, and it's totally fine because we're getting it out of our heads, and then we're taking the next step, which is to reorganize it. So then you can go through and on every single one of these little micros, you're going to put like a 1 here. The first step is maybe to get an LLC. The first step might be to get an actual domain, whatever that looks like for you. And then you're going to start reorganizing it into a chronological order where it's step by step by step. And it takes some time. I have to do this with my 2 papers side by side so I can cross off my micros as I go. So I'm like, okay, I need to do some images for my about page. So I'm going to cross that off and I'm going to rewrite it over here so that I know that that's the next step. And then I'm just, instead of having all of this chaos and all of this stress in my head, I'm taking it down to say, okay, today I need to do 3 things. And it's all in chronological order. So I just do 1, 2, and 3. And then after that, I can do 4, 5, and 6 the next day. Do you see what I mean? So we're just breaking it down and making sure it's incredibly easy to follow. So we get a little stuck sometimes, and that's totally fine. All right. How are you guys feeling about this so far with the macros and micros? Give me like a 10 if you're like, yes, I can do this and I totally understand. And give me like a 1 if you're like, I don't understand and it feels too hard. 6, a 1. It feels, Bree, does it feel too hard for you? No, it doesn't feel too hard. It just feels big. Tell me more words. Tell me more words.
I'll just come on.
Okay.
No, I didn't mean to write that. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Also, I think it's like actually resonating in my head because I've just been going through a lot of like stressful things trying to figure it all out, like the money thing and all that stuff. But it makes sense. Here we go.
Okay. As long as it makes sense. Those are the things. Okay. Perfect. Those are the things I worry about. Is like 10 is good. I'm okay with like 6s and up. But like if we're at 1, they used to feel too big. Now they feel too small. Don't worry. Don't worry. Small means that we can get there. Like just break it all down into a little piece. We can still have big goals. Okay. Here's the next step that I need you guys to be able to do. I have a business coach. She is the one who is teaching me, who is helping me write my book. And she has this story that she tells. She's helped a lot of people write books, a lot of really amazing people write their books, write their story, speak publicly, all of those types of things. And she tells a story about a runner that she was helping write a book. And I don't remember his name. He was breaking records all over the place, breaking records, absolutely killing it. And she asked him what his secret is. Like, it was all part of the book writing process. She asked him what his secret is. And he said, no matter what happens, every single day, I put on my shoes, I go outside, and I touch the sidewalk. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's windy. I don't care if I'm sick. I don't care what's happening. I just have to touch the sidewalk. I have to walk from my door, ready to run, and touch the sidewalk every single day, no matter what. Now, obviously, most of the time, he did more than just touch the sidewalk. But what he was doing is he was creating this habit in his life that at a certain time every day, he went outside and he touched the sidewalk. He was creating a habit that was like, this is my time that is dedicated to reaching this goal. It doesn't have to be big all the time, but it's instilling that habit so that every single day, the getting started is not the problem. Every single day, he's ready to go. Every single day, he's committing something to this big, huge dream and goal of his. The teeny, teeny, tiny steps are what move us forward. Now, I'm an all or nothing type person. 100%. I feel like if it is going to take me 6 months to do something, it's not worth my time right now. I'll just wait until I have time to get the thing done. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. That's totally how I am. All or nothing. If it's going to take me too long, it's just, I don't want to do it. It's just too stressful. Like, even again, back to writing the book, she's like, it's going to take you 6 months to a year. And I'm like, cool. So I'm just going to clear off my plate and I'll just wait until I have the right amount of time to do that. And she's like, no, you just have to do little steps every day. Well, I took my advice instead of her advice, and it's been an entire year since we started writing together, and I hadn't done anything. I hadn't done anything until about 4 months ago because I was waiting for the right time. I was waiting for when I had time to get things done. I was waiting for like this magic moment in my life where suddenly I was free and suddenly I wasn't stressed anymore. That doesn't exist. There is no right time. I'm so happy, Michelle, that I'm not alone. Yes, 6 months feels like an eternity, so I don't want to do it because I'm just going to wait until I have time to do it. No, that's not what we need to be doing with our business because we just means we're not moving forward. So what you need to be doing is make sure you have a touch the sidewalk goal. What is your touch the sidewalk goal every freaking day that you're like at exactly 3:00 after I take my afternoon nap? I don't nap, so I have no idea. But whatever that is, at 3:00 every single day, I open my file to write my book. I at least look at it. That's what I have to do is sit down and look at it. I have to write 100 words. What does it look like in your business? I have to go through my to-do list. I have to take one thing off my to-do list every day at 3:00. What does it look like? What is touching the sidewalk for you? It should be super easy. It should be something you can do every single day, no matter what. It should be something that is moving your business forward. There's a book. I got it off my shelf just for you guys. It's called The Compound Effect. I don't know if you can see it in the little screen right here. The entire book is about the importance of baby steps. It is about the importance of consistency with tiny steps. That's part of our overwhelm too. Everything seems too big. Everything seems too big. If we're not going to get it done today, why do it at all? I love that you made your 11-year-old read it. Yes, we need to be taking consistent steps, even if they're little. Even if you're checking one tiny micro off your list every single day, it's moving you forward. Again, we feel impatient sometimes that our business is not as far ahead as we want it to be. I wanted to open my business and have it be an immediate success in like 10 minutes and I'm done. Magic, right? That's kind of like the ultimate crazy weird dream. I want to put one TikTok video up and I have 5 million followers and I'm making millions of dollars. Like that's what I want. And we have kind of been trained mentally that is what happens. We see it a lot in the montages. You have the it's all over in the movies, obviously. They're like, I'm gonna have a big change and my life is gonna be different. They have a little 2-minute montage set to fun music, and then everything's different and they're better. And somewhere in our brain, we kind of believe that that's true. It happens a lot on social media as well. You see people who take a picture of themselves when they are overweight and unhappy with their body. They do a fun little montage, and then it's like, oh my gosh, look, I'm 100 pounds lighter. And in our brains, and this is actual science, in our brains, we start to believe that that's what it takes. That it should be that fast. It should be the amount of time that a video montage takes. We see it all the time with business owners on TikTok as well. Not just TikTok, of course. They get started and they're like, oh, I launched my business during COVID. And then like the next day I woke up and I had hundreds of thousands of followers and millions of dollars rolling in. And so we believe that that's true. That's not what it looks like. Growth takes time. Growth takes time. Building wealth takes time. Which part, Jennifer, that people think that it's just going to be overnight? Or is it really happening overnight and you're like, no, Carrie, you're crazy?
No, it's just that in today, people just expect results to happen so quickly because they see what is actually happening online, which marketing is a ruse. It's a ruse for a reason. So you pay with your time or money, and it's usually both. And so often people are comparing themselves to other brands, but they have no idea how much they paid and what they did to actually get there.
Yes.
So that's why it's like everyone expects these overnight results. It never happens. It's not overnight.
Yes, it's not overnight. And it's so like just this little tiny part of our brain, or sometimes a big part of our brain, really believes it should be. And we get super frustrated with ourselves. We get frustrated with our businesses. We get more and more overwhelmed because it's not happening fast enough. It's not going to happen fast. And it's totally okay. Read the book. We're taking small steps. And what you're doing with your macros to micros is creating the path. You're creating the steps. I don't want you to be working on more than 2 to 3 macros a month. You're going to choose a couple and then you are going to start creating the path. That's the goal. That's the mission. So you know what you're doing, you know where you're headed. Make sure you're growing well. These are consistent steps that are moving us forward every single day. You're going to review them, adjust, you move forward. Again, I talked about this last week. I am checking my goals every single week and readjusting. Every single week. And that's what you need to be doing, is really look at this and say, okay, what am I getting done? What am I accomplishing this week? What am I accomplishing this month? You want to start with 2 to 3 macros. You're going to micro them all out and create your chronological list. Okay. If you guys have all right, we're actually going to do this together. I'm going to give you the next steps. Write this down because I am not going to pull this back up. Okay. Next steps. You are going to download the Big Dreams workbook. It is in, again, if you click home, it says snag my free workshop, my free workbook. If you scroll down, again, guys, it's free. We're going to use this so you can print it out, put it on your computer, whatever it looks like, so that you can start to micro all of this out and create those things. You're going to finish brainstorming the micros for your macro. We're going to come back next week and talk about courage. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the actual workbook so we can look at it. And I'm going to give you guys some time to actually start implementing this. I believe that workshops should be things that you can implement quickly. And so we're going to start actually doing that and setting that up. Okay. Give me like 2 seconds. Do you guys have questions before I just jump into the next piece? Give me like a scale of 1 to 10. If you're feeling great, if you're like, nope, I hate every second of this, that's fine. That would be a 1.
Where do I get the printout again? Because I really want to print this out.
Okay, so at the can you see the chat? Do you see the chat, Bree?
Yes.
Okay, next to the chat it says home. Do you see that? I will copy it for you. Hang on. I'll put this directly in the chat for you.
On a cell phone, so it's completely different.
Oh.
I know.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to put it directly into the chat. It doesn't matter. It's fine. There. I put the link in the chat, and then you'll download that. Okay, and I'm going to reshare my screen with you guys. Okay. And this right here is the workbook. It's a little big. It's big dreams, right? It's gigantic. Okay, the first thing we need to do, and if you don't have this, that's fine. Grab a pen and paper. I want to actually write some of this down so you guys can start implementing it. What I want you to do is I want you to write down everything you know about your big, huge dream. Your big, huge, scary, insane dream. Write it down. Tell me, what does it look like? What it will require? What do you know about? What don't you know? It's okay to say, oh crap, but I don't actually know this. And take like 2 minutes and write down everything about where you are headed and what that looks like for you. Okay. Does anyone want to share? I know we already shared big dreams, but if you are learning something or have more to share, please put it in the chat. I'll give you guys like 1 more minute to kind of finish that up. Sherry, it's okay to feel overwhelmed by the macro dream. We are going to start breaking it down. That's what we're doing right now. And we'll help you break it down. If you want us to go through it with you, we will, and we will tell you what you need to do. Okay, we'll loop back around to it. Okay, we're going to move forward unless someone needs more time. Are we good to move forward? We're feeling okay? Okay, the next thing you need to do is we are going to brain dump. Brain dumping is so good for your mental health, by the way, to get everything out of your head and onto a physical piece of paper because it allows your brain to think that it can let go of those thoughts that cycle, and you can start to actually see what you're looking at and make the next decisions, and you don't have to cycle it. Sometimes this doesn't work for me. Most of the time it works pretty well. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna brain dump all of the big steps. So we're looking at, I want to have a referral system to match clients to ongoing VA support. So you want to help them with VIP setup for organizations before matching the clients to the VA. A mentor coach new virtual assistants to help them. Okay, cool. So some big macros inside of those are going to be like, You need an actual system. So you need a program that will match them together. That's a huge macro. You need the program to teach your VAs. Obviously, that's a huge macro. You're going to need the systems to help them set up the organization, those types of things. That's what you're looking at in this macro piece. And again, I didn't put lines on this because I expect this piece to be messy, and that's totally fine. So write out every single macro you can think of. If you guys have any other macros for Sherry here, Sherry, I know you told me once and I don't remember. If you have any help for her or tips for her with her macros, put them in the chat. I'm going to stop talking so you guys can start macroing out what are all of your big steps to get to your goal. Okay, what you need to do now, we're going to move ahead. Look at that big, huge list of macros. If you still have more to brainstorm, that's fine. I'm going to let you guys kind of do some of that on your own. But what I want you to do right now is circle one of them that is the most important right now. So if you're like, I have this big, huge dream, but I don't even have a website yet. I have this big, huge dream and I haven't even registered my business yet. Whatever it is, circle the next best one for you to be working on. Build a website, create your landing page, create your email sequence. For me, it's a lot of, I need a lot of systems set up in my business right now. For me, my book is another one that's right at the top of my macro list. So circle your best one, whatever you need to be working on next. The rest, as you scroll to the next page or you flip to the next page, the rest don't matter. They are there to give you a reference point when you finish the one you just circled. So you circled the one you're working on now. All of the rest, you're just going to let them float out in the universe. We are not going to worry about them. We're not going to stress about them right now. We know that they're there. We're getting one thing done at a time. One thing done at a time. You don't have to worry about the rest. Now, what you're going to need to do, funnel system. So if that's what we're doing, then you'll put funnel system in the circle right here where it says micros. Your macro goes in the center. And then you're going to draw a line from the circle. You don't even have to draw a line if you don't want to. And you're just going to start writing out all your micros on the side. So if it's a funnel system to be finished, then it's like outline the funnel system. That's totally one of the micros inside of there. Write the copy for the first email. Write the copy for the second email. Or maybe you have the outline and then it's like write the headlines, because headlines take some time to have really good headlines in your email system. If that's what we're doing is an email system, whatever that looks like. Headlines, headline, headline. If it's a whole funnel system that needs like a landing page, then you're going to be like, okay, I need to just create the landing page draft just so the landing page exists. Then I'm going to do the draft. I'm going to draft out the copy. And this doesn't have to be in chronological order right now. You are just brain dumping every single task. everything you can think of. And if you need help, we will give it to you. Put it in the chat. You can always ask questions. Yes.
So, Cara, what if you hired people for it and it's really not on your task list though? Like, would that be like part of the lines of the micro?
Yeah. So if you're like, hire someone to create my landing page, absolutely, that should take you less than an hour. Unless you don't know how to make choices and you have a hard time making decisions, and then you're going to say research people for an hour, and then the next one is going to be actually hire somebody. If you struggle with that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Micros for a membership. Kate, Deera's asking us for help for micros for a membership. And yes, Jennifer is right. Even if you're hiring someone, you need to know what their steps are. So you might have a precursor micro that's like outline their role. And then it might be like create them videos if that's what we're doing. Okay, micros for a membership. So you're going to obviously know what your membership needs to be. You have to find a platform, a membership platform, Deera, whatever that looks like for you. If you have a hard time making decisions, you also have to put in there, research them all. Good job. You need to create an outline. How long is your program? Decide the end date for your program. You need to create an outline for your program, headlines for all of the courses, and then an outline for each individual course and then each individual class. If you do modules and then classes, all those types of things. I'm going to put it in your little chat. I'm going to reply to you so everyone else can keep working. Okay. We're feeling okay. Do we have questions or problems that are coming up right now when we are microing all of this out? Bree, if you're working on a membership, go read all of the like 15 things I just sent to Deera of the things she needs to do. And I've created a membership before, so if you guys, I can keep going. I can actually micro all of this out for you quite well. So if you need more help with that, just message me and I will help you. Okay, the next step is to reorganize this. I'm going to have you guys do this on your own time because all you're going to do, take those two pieces of paper side by side and then cross them off as you reorganize them. So you're like, okay, my first step is to decide how long my course is. My second step is to just outline what it looks like. And then the next one is to write the headlines for each module. And then I'm going to do one class at a time throughout that. Start writing that all out so that when you sit down to do your stuff, you're like, hey, I'm just going straight through the checklist. I don't have to do everything. Remember, business grows slower than we want. You don't have to do everything. You're doing one task at a time and you're just clicking those off so you can keep going. Okay. I'm going to have you guys do that on your own time because I'm a little worried about time in here. And I want to make sure we get to the next part, which is super important to me. I want you guys to write down your touch the sidewalk commitment. So remember, she's talking to this runner. This is my book coach. And that's how he's breaking all the records is he is dedicated every single day, no matter what happens, he is touching the sidewalk. So I want you to think about your business, your big dreams and your macros, and what is the touch the sidewalk for you. So for me in my book, I have to open up my, not my template, my document where I'm writing my book. I have to open up the book. I have to read the paragraph that I wrote last. And that's what I have to do every single day, no matter what. I usually write a ton more, but that is my touch the sidewalk. So take a minute and write your touch the sidewalk commitment. Are you opening things? Are you calling someone? Speak to at least one person every day. Awesome. Perfect. I would love to hear them if you want to share them. You are so welcome, Dira. Finish filling yours out. I know you were already writing on it, so you're good. Okay. The next part of this, as you can tell, because it's right there, what time will you do this every day? The best way to create, not, I don't know if it's the best, a great way to create a new habit is to attach it to the end of something you already do. So if every single morning you brush your teeth, I hope we're all brushing our teeth. A really great place to put a next habit is right after you brush your teeth. So the first thing I do in the morning is I get up, I use the restroom, obviously, because we all do. And then I brush my teeth. The next place to put a habit, like a really great place to plug one in, is right after that process. If you're like after lunch every day, I wash all of my dishes. When I get home from work, if you have a 9 to 5, or if you're leaving the house for your business and you're like, the first thing I do when I get home is take off my bra. Awesome. Put another habit right next to it. If you're like, the first thing I do when I get into my office is get coffee and sit down and check my email, great. Put another habit right next to it. Time. And then if you can also piggyback on another habit, that's fantastic. Good words, Britta. Write that down, make a commitment. If you are finishing before everyone else, go to the polls and fill out the polls so I know what we're doing here. Okay, and then the last piece of this is I want you to write out how you eliminate distractions. When we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling busy in our business, it's really easy to just pick up our phone and be like, I don't know, maybe something's happening on TikTok. Well, there is stuff happening on TikTok because there's always stuff happening on TikTok, right? But you are going to say, okay, this is how I'm eliminating things. I'm turning off all of my devices. I am going to do this in a closet with headphones on. I am shutting down all of my notifications. I'm going to do it in my car. I'm going to, I don't know what it looks like. Write down how you're eliminating distractions. If you have children, this is the best trick I ever learned in my life. I learned it from my middle kid's preschool teacher. And she has these signs outside her door because preschool's at her house. And when it's green, they can come in. And when it's red, they can't come in. Lock the children in a closet. I meant me in a closet. Okay. Right? And so when it's red, they can't come in. I watched 15 3-year-old line up outside her house staring at the stupid red sign and waiting for her to turn it green one day. And I was like, oh my gosh, this woman's magic. This hangs outside my door most of the time so I can tell my kids if they can come in or if they cannot come in. This applies to my mother. This applies to my husband. Anyone who comes to my house, if it is red, I hold it strong and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. What color is the sign on the door? And they're like, red. And I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. And some people cry, but they all get over it. Okay. Write down how you eliminate distractions. And then the next thing that I need from you guys is just to ask questions. What questions do you guys have for me? How are we feeling, scale of 1 to 10, with all of this process? 9, 10, we're doing okay. Give me your takeaways. What is your biggest takeaway? What did you learn? What stood out to you? What changed something for you? I'm looking at the chat, but you guys on screen can talk as well. I love the touch of sidewalk. Me too. Life-changing for me. Not my original idea. Who else has a good takeaway? Something useful for you. Bree, tell us what you came away with. I'll call in people. I don't mind.
Did you say me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just kind of taking it in right now. Because I'm just so stuck on so many things, and I'm trying to get unstuck with so much. So I think all of it is like super good, and I feel like this is a really good outline to start with, because again, like I'm like trying to become a coach, right? And so where I am coaching, but I don't have like anything organized as far as like what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna get through all these things with like I'm working with a girl, but I'm kind of just like winging it and trusting the universe to kind of just guide me. And it's not organized at all. So I'm hoping that this is gonna help me like organize.
Yeah.
Figure out like the questions to ask her, and kind of like a program or course or
maybe your first macro needs to be to figure out exactly what you want and maybe a timeline for your business. So you can do phases in your business. Phase 1 is to like just open the doors, or you can say that. Phase 2 is to all of my advertising time goes into this. And then if you can phase it out, it might help you get a little more organized, because it feels like a lot. For sure. Okay, who else has a takeaway? I love the phases idea. Again, not my original idea. So I love it too, though. It helps my brain. Anyone else have a takeaway they want to share? We'll take one more and then I'll let you guys go. Mary, do you want to share one? You look like you want to.
I would just say I have a million ideas, so I like picking the one that is the next best thing to focus on. Just because I tend to go from one thing to the next to the next. So
yes,
that's a good takeaway for me.
A really good habit to create too is finishing things to the end before you move on. Because when we have like 90 things that are 90% done, we never get to let go of that stress. It's hard for me. I'm really good at the first 80%. I'm really bad at the last 20. But if you can build that habit where you're like done, then we can move forward, which is fantastic. Okay, does anyone else have any questions or anything they want to share before we go? Feeling good? Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Download this Big Dreams workbook so you guys can work through all of this. It'll just kind of help you get a little bit more organized. Message me if you need any help at all, okay? All right, see you guys.